Good evening, curling fans. Brent Lang here from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. We've got action here on Sheet C. Our feature game tonight is Quebec versus Manitoba on the men's side of the draw. Should be a barn burner here. Both teams full of experience and both near the top. Quebec has been on a bit of a slide over the last few draws here, losing the last couple, but we've got Quebec's record at 4-3, and they're playing the top-ranked team at the moment, Team Manitoba, at 7-0. So, like I said, should be a good one. Looking forward to calling this one. So we've got full 5 sheets in action tonight. We've got one ladies draw on sheet E. We've got Ontario versus undefeated Saskatchewan. Big game for both teams. Saskatchewan with a win can clinch a playoff spot in one of the semifinal games. And Ontario at 5-2, needing to keep above those 4 teams right now in a playoff spot, but needing a win to stay there. BC and Alberta on the men's side. And also on the far side of the arena, we have Ontario versus New Brunswick. And Saskatchewan versus Nova Scotia. So lots of action here. All the teams are still mathematically alive, although there is starting to be some separation. So on our feature sheet, Team Quebec with the hammer to start the game. Francois Robert skipped for Team Quebec, and I believe it was Max Elmaleh through the 2 draws, and both of them were on the button. So pretty tough to beat that, and they start with the hammer, and Team Manitoba is going to start off by throwing one in the rings.
Tight.
Looks like Francois is going to go with the corner guard here. Quebec, these guys played with Jean-Michel Menard for years. Seasoned veterans of the game, always played the game with aggression, lots of offense. So I think we're in for a barn burner tonight, in for a great entertaining game.
Easy, assez proche. Easy et proche, easy et proche. Easy à cœur en masse. Okay, good spot, Johnny.
So good shot there for Jean Gagnon to start the game. Very, very usable corner guard, and Manitoba is going to answer with the center guard. Sometimes the best defense is good offense.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah.
Thinking this one's a little bit heavy. Lead Dale. I don't know. I'm going to go with Mickey this time. I think I said Mishi last time. I think it's Mickey. That's what I'm going to guess. My apologies for any mumblings on the name pronunciations.
Just normal.
So going to allow Quebec with a hit here, and they'd love to roll behind the corner guard, but hit and stay anywhere is pretty good at this point. My French isn't great, but normal is normal.
Yep.
Normal takeaway.
Yes. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And a great double takeout there from Jean Gagnon. You can see Eric Sylvain. Team Quebec's going to be one of the best sweeping teams in the event. Eric was always the fastest sweeper we played against for sure. Nobody tries harder than Eric, and still got it into his 50s here. Good to see. These guys are all super fit guys. They do a lot of distance sports in their off time, I hear.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Curl, curl, curl. Good, 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 good.
Peter Nichols, hit and stay. I think
Straight.
you might see Quebec go around the corner guard here. I think Frankie thought about it, but just going to play the hit and stay.
Okay. It's normal.
First look at Eric Sylvain in the hack. He has to hit and stay here, else you're going to see Manitoba peel off that corner guard, and this end will be over before it really gets started.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep. 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 Yep.
Good shot by Eric. So it looks like a nose hit will still be in the rings. If Peter gets this one a little wide and rolls out, you'll certainly see Quebec go around the corner guard. It's probably
Whoa, whoa, curl, curl, curl.
Didn't want to hear whoa out of his hand on one that you can't hit high. Can see.
Whoa, whoa, Dean, we're not going in. Probably should roll away. Okay.
So not far off there, but that's definitely a miss and an opportunity for Quebec to go around their corner guard. Can hear the sigh from Randy Neufeld there.
Line's good. Line's good. Ligne est bonne. Max en premier. Max. Max.
So this one needs to curl. Frankie calling for the outside sweeper. Max Almalay to get this one curling.
Come on, c'est là qu'elle plie à la fin. Come on. Okay, Eric.
Certainly not going to get it buried.
Pas comme Johnny, hein? Good weight.
So I don't know this for sure, but I'm going to guess that there are 4 Brier champions in this field. All of them wearing the Quebec colors tonight on sheet C. 2006 Brier champs.
Whoa, whoa, yep.
That's a lie. Al Hackner's in the field. Caught myself already. Al Hackner, multiple Brier. I think he won 3 Briers, so my apologies to the Iceman. So another chance here to make this hit and roll. Going to bring the weight down. Just bump weight, board weight. Key to these shots is getting the weight right, and then the sweepers in the line call can make the shot for you. If you have the right weight, all you really got to do in this game is get it close on the line.
No, 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 no.
I think he was wide, folks. Don't have to speak French to know that one either.
No, no. Eric. No. Eric. Come on, Rick.
Looks like it's close.
Good try.
So not a lot happening here in the first, and a couple of, small opportunities, but nobody making any hit and rolls yet. I think Manitoba and Dean Moxham here would love to roll to the button here, roll to the center line. I guess you can't roll to the button, but roll back to the center line.
Whoa, looks like more.
Away from that corner guard.
Curl. Curl. Hard, Pete, you gotta go.
Got a stick here.
Hard.
Looks like he's going to. Accidentally rolled all the way behind the other corner, which looks fancy for now, but now you're going to see Quebec play a freeze there, yeah. So somebody's probably going to score here. But that rock looks good. Mostly buried, can't really hit it, but Quebec doesn't want to hit it. They're going to freeze down to it, and then you're going to see a run back from Randy, I would imagine. See if Max can get the weight right here in a new spot in the first end. They won't have thrown here in practice.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa.
I got it, Petey. I got it.
So just a little bit heavy there, bouncing off. Had the line if he had the weight right. That's a spot that could be slower in the first end. So
Nice and straight, eh?
you can hear Francois and Max there talking about, okay, if he noses, are we going to play the freeze? What are we going to do here? Always thinking ahead. They are timed here. I think teams start with 32 minutes and 2 timeouts. Thinking time. The clock only runs while you're talking about or preparing to throw a shot.
We're okay. We're okay. We're okay. Whoa.
Randy seems to like it. Peter was a bit concerned.
Should have maybe got you on it. Should have maybe got you on it. You might have been able to. Yeah, that's what I mean.
So Francois Robert is going to play that freeze. Really similar line to Max Almalay, what he just threw.
Nope. No. Should have had Dino on that one. Should have had Dino on that one. Kind of put a rock anywheres in front there.
If anybody has any questions for me, wants to hit me up on social media. Twitter is probably the easiest. At blang99. Lang is Laing. If you have any questions about the event, about curling, really about anything at all, try and get to any questions that do come through. Certainly feel free to correct me if I make any mistakes as well.
Be ready, Petey.
Easy, ligne est bonne. No.
Gotta go
Reste
hard on
avec.
ours, Pete.
Yes.
Get in there, get in there.
Yep, yep. Whoa.
Hard,
whoa.
Petey, hard, hard. Hard on ours.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So line was good, but
Yeah, what do you like though?
just too heavy.
No, like where do you want to go with it? You think so?
Oh, un peu serré.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So you definitely want to hit and roll here. I mean, automatically you want to take it out, but I think it's a good question by Randy. What do we want to do with our shooter? If he knows it, you might see Francois try the double and blank, because you're going to kill your back one.
Your way. Don't want to flirt with the jam.
Anything on the broom side here, and they're going to have themselves a force.
Clean, clean. Yep, yep, yep. Hard. Whoa, 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 yep, yep, yep.
Fuck, man. So perfect shot there, hit and roll. Lying 3. No easy hit here, so I think you'll see Francois just try and draw the button, yeah. They should know this from practice. Francois put his right on the button with the in-turn going the other way, so the same side of the sheet. Not ideal to have to draw against 3 in the first end, but just needs full 8 foot.
Amazing, eh? And it's his intern.
But he also has a completely different set of rocks. He's got 3 and 6. So if they think
Encore un peu, Max. Plus large. Plus large.
So last time we covered Manitoba, Dean and Randy talk a lot about, critical information. Now they're talking about the rocks that Francois is throwing. They're not all the same. Very rarely are they all the same. Wondering if he's got a straighter one maybe, but I don't think he would intentionally take a straighter rock. That would be kind of silly for a skip to have a straighter rock. Looking good, Eric's keeping it clean. We're going to have you 1-0 Quebec here after the first end, and Manitoba will take hammer into the second, and we'll be right back after a short break.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back. Second end action here at the Everest Canadian Curling Championships. We got Team Quebec forced to 1 point in the first end here. Now, other way. Now second end action, we've got Manitoba with the hammer. And going to be looking to play a good end here and get a deuce. But Quebec, as I mentioned, very aggressive team, going to stay on the offense. They're going to throw a tight guard here. And I often think a center guard is the best defense, as much as it seems like an offensive shot with the 5-rock rule. Jean pulled the string on this one a bit. Boys trying to help him out, dragging it in there. They want this nice and tight on the center line. Great sweeping. Perfect shot to start the end. Not seeing a lot of corner guards thrown this week, which is interesting to me. Could be that they're not comfortable the second and thirds of throwing the high, hard run backs you got to throw to open up those corners when center guard is thrown. But just interesting to see that. And
Lots of room yet. Line's good though.
Certainly not right or wrong, but
Line's good.
going to play the come around.
Straight, straight. hard, Petey. Whoa.
Good looking come around here from Dale. Might even over curl a bit, but oh, that's a great shot. Tough to chase that. Gonna play the freeze. This is always a tough one. When the lead with the hammer makes the perfect come around the center, top 8 foot, it's a challenge to get out of it as the team without the hammer. You make this freeze and it's a great shot. It's not an easy shot. And then they draw open side. So I think they've called an audible here, but maybe not. No, this one's really curling.
Good shot.
Yeah, very nice. You can see why these two teams were considered two of the favorites. I think early in the week when I got here, that the talk was that Quebec was rolling. But like I said, they've hit a tough streak here the last few games, and sitting at 4 wins and 3 losses. Certainly don't want to go to that 4-loss mark. There are 5 teams ahead of them, including Manitoba. And a win here for Manitoba would guarantee them a playoff spot in the semifinals. So of the 8 teams still in the championship pool, or in the championship pool rather, 4 teams will make the playoffs.
Line's good.
1 will play 4 in the semi, and 2 will play 3 in the semifinal. Single elimination down to the champion on Saturday afternoon. We'll crown our Canadian senior curling champion that will represent Canada at the World Senior Curling Championships in Pyeongchang, South Korea, the site of the 2018 Olympics. So pretty cool opportunity and experience on the line to put on that maple leaf #1 and go across the world and play at an Olympic site. Small error there. A little heavy rolled off, so now allowing Eric to throw the hack weight chase. This one's way out there, folks. He might have flashed this one. Not the result they were looking for. Oh, and the big spin by the red one at the end to get half buried. Tough situation here for Quebec now, and a great situation for Manitoba. Yeah, I think the tendency is to think, well, let's just go open side, but I think Randy understands that if you do that, Quebec's just going to throw a freeze on the button, which isn't a comfortable shot, especially this early in the game, this early in the end.
Got room. Looks hot.
But beat him in there.
Looks hot.
There's those familiar bells. That means Nova Scotia men's team's doing something good, and they're out on the ice.
Much to his back ring.
So just overthrown there. I had it on a good line. Would have been a great shot. Just 5-6 feet heavy. And play the double. I don't think so. I think Eric's on the right track. So if you make the hit and roll, I do know what he said there. Hit and roll, then he's got an easy run back, and he's going to lie 2 behind the double guards. But to me, I think a draw in there is even risky, but that one back button could be a friend to Quebec. Not wrong here. Early enough, they can still bail. It's a good hitting team. So jams it on the button, and now that one's above the button, still buried. Very easy double here, but I think you're going to see Manitoba play a little split. No, he's just going to draw in there. Personally, I like throwing back 8-foot weight and draw right in there and hit about 2/3 of yours, bump it to the back 8, and roll dead buried behind the 2 guards. Maybe Peter will call the audible. Accidentally be heavy and have the right line here, but if he's heavy, he probably won't curl enough.
Right here. Right here. Whoa. Straight. Whoa, then. Whoa, we're good. Whoa, we got lots. You got lots. Lots.
Line's great. I'd be sweeping this in there.
We're there. Yeah, nothing. No.
Just left him a very makeable double, but still going to be 1 buried shooting. So I think if, yeah, that makes some sense too. That's a very difficult shot, that double run. I think if they played, played the back 8-foot shot. They could have rolled their shooter right where it is, and then that one would have, the one they're hitting now would have been back 8, no doubles. Would have forced them into the double run back.
Whoa! Yep! Yep!
Don't see Max missing this one.
Yep! And bon, and bon.
Good shot there by Maxime Amelie. And will Manitoba keep the hammer down and play that in-turn come around again? Or are they going to go open side and try and take the soft deuce? And will Quebec ever play that freeze? I don't think so. Here's the replay. No, it's not the replay. I lied to you. So Dean Moxon being asked to draw.
Unless you want to go here.
That's
Just makes that easier.
worried about the little yellow slash or run back there, top 12. So important to lie 2 here, or else you will see Quebec play a freeze. So wants this back behind the tee line, so there's no double. Needs to be past that red one, top 4 for sure. But out counting that top yellow one. This one's really curling.
Straight, hard.
Ice has just been fantastic all week here for the players.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Needs this to stop curling to stay second shot. And I don't think it did. I think yellow's second shot here. But maybe Francois is going to tell us. Not sure, so they're going to have to hit the open one.
All I know is about will freeze.
So I think if he knows they'll freeze, he said.
C'est normal.
Normal weight, hit and roll in. Further they roll in, the less likely the freeze is going to be called.
Yep. Wow. Yep. Wow. Wow.
Good shot there from Max.
Like that? Play that.
Non, je t'ai pas assez ça.
Just a hit and stay here, right on the nose would be good.
Les double runs, on le fait pas, on s'enlève en plus.
Whoa, whoa. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Throw.
Sounds like a make. Really looking like a deuce here for Manitoba unless something strange happens. Francois is going to nose it.
Oh yeah, very, very tempting.
Ben, qu'est-ce que t'avances? Faut rouler le plus haut possible. Parce que si je tire normal, on va rouler ici, on sera même
Trying to hit and roll into the 4-foot, bring some more, change the shot and bring the play to the center guards there. Maybe force a mistake out of Manitoba. So you're gonna see Frankie throw this one harder.
plus haut, on va pas le choix d'un vin.
Top button if you're going to make it, right? You can't go back.
Ouais, trois
Go
quarts.
beside, you give him the double, right? Like, and then we go.
On a mis le balai agressif un peu. Watch-toi, John.
Randy and Peter back there talking about getting aggressive and playing a come around potentially. I think if you were going to do that, you should have done it earlier.
No, no. No, no, no.
Maybe that's
No.
a standard case of the skip not trusting anybody but himself. Joking, obviously, but so nose hit. The challenge here is if you do nose it,
Close, get there, eh?
Pas la bonne place, hein,
Want to give it a whirl?
you might leave a
Now if we
double if you nose it. So
What? Where though? Yeah, I know. Yeah.
could just draw over there.
It's better to roll out, right? Than stay there. Right, Petey? Better to roll out than stay there, right?
So better to roll out than stay there. He's really worried if he noses there will be a double. If he does roll out, that red rock is not accessible other than with a double run back. I don't.
Better to roll out than stay there, though, right? You can't stay there. Even if we go all the way across, right?
there's really no draw for Francois that looks very good. So you might see him take on the double run back if he does roll out here. Don't want to roll to the back of the button here. Then you'll definitely see Francois take on the draw.
Whoa, whoa. Curl. 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 No, 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 no.
That looks like an awfully tough double.
Ah,
I don't think so, actually.
just so straight there.
Always tough to tell on the overhead.
Super soft, easy, eh? I know. Shoot.
So you could throw it softer, he said, and roll to the button.
Just couldn't stay there.
I think you're worried about a shot that's very, very difficult here, Randy.
Yeah. And I've got to believe and just take less ice.
But Francois can throw it hard.
Yeah.
If he makes the double, it should be mostly open. I think a lot of times you're going to make this and just bump the red one over to the edge of the 4, edge of the 8, maybe.
Sinon, c'est bumper, une demi-roche,
do
mais
much.
pour rouler en dessous. C'est
Rather
notre
roll out
proportion.
than that. Like, that's terrible.
Randy's being a little bit hard on himself. See if Francois still got the high hard one here. I would say he does. He looks exactly the same as he did in 2006.
Yep. Hard.
Got the weight right.
Hard. Hard.
And great shot, but just didn't have quite enough fire in the tank. That required what we call a heater in our sport. You know, you needed to throw that just a little bit harder. Hit it perfect. You can see here, thick half right into the side of it. Couldn't have hit it any thinner to keep some speed. And you know, it's a quarter buried, so tricky shot here for Randy, but a good opportunity for a deuce. Get the weight right here. Put the pressure on Dale to hold this one for you. Don't want to overthrow this one. That's really the most common way to miss these hack weight chases.
Yep.
Thought he was tighter than he wanted by the sounds of it, but doesn't look like it.
Curl, Dave.
Oh no. This is definitely not staying. I think that was more weight than he thought, but a big turnaround there and a steal for Quebec to go up 2-0 after 2. We'll be right back for the third end action.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship here live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. Still hear the frustration in Randy Neufeld's, I guess it's not his voice, it's more like his grunts and groans there. He's not unhappy with himself with, especially his first shot to give Francois that opportunity, but a very makeable shot on his last one. Just kind of overthrew it. Panicked a little on the sweeping call, had the boys sweep it hard early, held it straighter, and whizzed on by, barely touched it, and a steal one for Quebec. Updates around the rink. Nova Scotia, Saskatchewan on the men's side, 2-2 after 2 ends. Randy Bryden from Saskatchewan with the hammer playing the third. New Brunswick, Ontario. Looks to be 1-0 Ontario playing the second. Rocks kind of everywhere, and a couple rocks to come there. Alberta, BC. BC was up 2-0 after 1. James Paul here coming back after the second, and I don't know what happened, but he does not look super happy. The BC skip's got a little jump in his step, so I would say something good happened for BC there. And just putting the scoreboard up here. I'll give you updated when I can. Saskatchewan, Ontario on the ladies' side. Joanne Rizzo with her last shot in the second end. Looks like a difficult draw for 2 wide to the side of the button to go up 2-1. Certainly going to be a tie game even if she misses this. The line looks great.
No, me neither. Yeah, and the weight was perfect.
So the line is perfect. It's just a matter of the weight here for Team Ontario, Joanne Rizzo, and their sweepers have dropped off. They think it's a little bit heavy. Little body language. Arms in the air. Looks like 2-1 Ontario, and it was a steal of one for BC. So a 3-0 lead there for Team BC over Alberta. Alberta's been hot. They started off slow, and they are now all the way back up to 5-2 and tied for 3rd. So James Paul looking for the comeback. Back on the feature sheet. Jean Gagnon looks like he finally missed one. Threw his first one back 4. That's certainly not what he was trying to do. Corner guard from Manitoba trying to generate some offense. And I'm not sure. I didn't see if that was supposed to be a guard from Jean but Manitoba's going to use it as a guard even though it is full 12-foot. Manitoba lead here. Yep. Dale's trying to make the intern freeze. Back 4 foot.
Stay with it. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Looks a little strong.
Yeah, it is.
Line's close though.
Okay.
Not bad. Certainly can't hit it.
Nah.
Let's see what Dean and Randy.
The weight was good. It just didn't curl.
Yeah.
It just didn't finish.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
I know, but we were sweeping. So you
Yeah,
guys
I
had
know.
it sweeping all the way down.
No, I know, but
So you can hear they just miss.
It's just that was the right ice and everything else.
yeah,
We
didn't
jumped
have
it.
to. Yeah.
We didn't
La
need to, right?
place.
I would agree with what Dean's saying there. I think
Ligne est bonne.
everything they did like the weight. I thought maybe it was a little overthrown, but definitely overswept.
Sur ici.
Nobody would disagree with that.
Vers léger.
Eric Sylvain from Quebec.
Yes, faut que tu descendes jusqu'ici. Non, non, faut que tu descendes jusqu'ici.
One of the most passionate players you'll ever see. A lot of emotion from Eric. And a perfect freeze.
Just here.
So as advertised here, folks, a lot of good shots being made here. 2 of the best teams in the field. And Quebec off to a great start on the scoreboard. And really closing down the scoring area here. I think it would be great if Manitoba could bump this back and create some room around the 4 foot. A straight freeze is great, but it leaves the yellow one locked on the button.
No, not yet. Curl, Dale. Curl.
Not a lot of room to score too.
Yeah, you gotta go. Gotta go.
This line looks pretty good.
Hard.
So yeah, great shot there. Shot rock, I think, maybe not. Francois thinking about throwing a guard, but I'm not sure he's shot rock. Having a better look at it now. Yeah, same shot. I think whether they're shot or not, I think you probably want to come in here. The odds of that yellow one staying there with the red frozen on it all end is very, very slim. Mark up an X for the commentator here. Brent is wrong again. Ontario only got 1 there. That draw must have slid a little bit too far. Man, I am not batting very high. So it says Francois thinks it's heavy. Line's certainly too wide. This is not going to be a good result for the fellas from Quebec on a pretty well thrown rock. Not sure if that's rock related, just misswept. But they just threw that exact same path, so you wouldn't expect them to get fooled there, but they certainly were. Precision shot here being asked for from Peter Nichols. No stranger himself to wearing the Manitoba Bison at a national championship.
Hard! Really hard.
This one's moving on him.
Okay.
Might even be on the top one.
Curled hard. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 2 inches, yeah. Yeah, good weight. Yeah.
So looking for the trick shot here. Yeah. So you can kill the one on the button. Shooter comes over and kills the one on the right side on the tee line. Drags the back yellow one onto the other yellow and rolls right onto the red one is what Francois thinks is going to happen here. And looks to me from the side angle anyway, I don't have a great view, but it looks to me like he's right. Wants to hit about a quarter stone here, I would think would be ideal, maybe even a third. Really anywhere high, and that one on the button's certainly gone. Gotta hit it though. No noise is bad noise on a line call. Oh, and a great shot, even stuck it. Fantastic shot from Maxime Amelet. Don't see a lot of ways that back red one scores, so this is a start over situation for Manitoba. How much risk do we want to take on, or are we bailing here to make sure they score? Here's the replay here. You can see he hits a thin quarter, double touch on the yellows. That brings that yellow one back towards the button. And barely even moved the back one. Hit it so perfect.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
This might be able to make
whoa,
a triple right back here.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Exact same throw as Max, and you'll have the same kind of result. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Unfortunate for Manitoba. They bumped that back red one just about 2 inches too far to outcount the top one, as you'll see on the overhead. There's the replay. Back-to-back great hits from Manitoba and Quebec, both thirds, Dean Moxham and Maxime Amelet, right on target. So now bringing the weight down, asking probably for about a board weight, hit and roll.
Yep.
Lie 3, cannot over curl here. Do not want to cross this one. Even if you pick it out in lie 2. This one's moving big time. Gonna chip the back one a little bit. Nope. Another good shot from Max and Quebec. Great sweep in there. There is a double here. Calling the hit and roll. If you happen to chip that yellow on the way by, so be it. That would be nice. Out turn, control weight. We know this spot curls.
Whoa, whoa, yep, yep. Hard. Watch the roll, Pete.
Not much of a roll here, but did make that double. Great shots. What a battle at the third stone. Dean would love to think those claps are for him, but they're not. Anytime you hear the bell, that's Team Nova Scotia, hometown crowd. But you can see just chips the back one, just misses the back red, lying first and third, and all of a sudden a pretty reasonable opportunity for two. If Francois needs to make this double and take this end completely away from Manitoba, and then the force will be on. Even if he doesn't make the double, as long as he stays, he can't jam it on the back red though, or else red will be second shot. Looks like he's going to throw this fairly hard. Out turn for the left-hander.
Yep. Whoa. Je vois rien. Yep. Yes. Hard.
Sounds close. Maybe lost it on the over curl. But still lying 2. I think, anyway. Yeah. So yellow is lying 2. I think you want to probably hit and roll. And then you need Francois to miss the 8-foot. I don't think he's going to do that. I think that's the shot. Certainly there. You can see air. Like hack weight, get by close. Or you play the double, Dean said. That's also there.
Depends how thick you hit. No, I know. Yeah.
Double's certainly there.
Just normal.
My preference is to hit the shot rock.
Yeah, just normal.
roll under.
It's not going to do much, yeah. What? Yeah, it's too thin though. It's going to hit the back one, right?
He's worried there are places you could make the double and it catches the back red one.
Is the flop there? Is the flop there?
It is there.
Yeah, in behind.
You don't have to roll completely buried.
Back one.
Roll half buried, it's decision time for Quebec.
I think it's better.
Still a lot of,
Another one.
yeah,
I like it better.
a lot of
That one,
conversation
yeah.
about this shot.
Yeah, nose even. Yeah.
Don't think nose accomplishes a lot for you. I mean, you need a pretty open miss then from Francois. He just needs to hit and stay anywhere in the 8-foot there. After watching you throw this spot, he's going to know the spot. I think this is one you got to get after making the shot. Again, one you don't want to overthrow.
Yeah. Whoa, 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 whoa,
A lot of weight for this shot here.
Whoa, Dean!
Oh, fantastic. Great shot there. That's a tough shot with that much weight, but Randy was comfortable with it and made no mistake. I don't think you're going to give him the free deuce here, Francois. I think you're going to play that run back, so let's just get on with it. It's probably no hole, is what Eric's saying.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, I didn't mind a nose even, right? Totally, right? This is the easiest shot for him, right? No, you know what I mean? Like, rather than showing half or 3/4 even, that's harder. Doesn't look good in your eye. This is just, you got a wide open hit, right?
Not sure it's quite as easy as Randy's making it sound. It's not a wide open hit, but I get what he's saying there. If you roll half buried or 2/3 or 3/4, the hack weight hit and stay is, you know, potentially harder than this, but this one, if you know, one little outward motion, hit a half a rock and it's a draw for 3.
Whoa.
Overdid it. Even if he does make it, you still got the open draw, the 4-foot for 1. I don't think you're going to have a double for 2, but he has to hit it dead perfect.
Look at that, really tight.
Whoa.
Good ball.
This one's gone.
Don't miss it.
Almost flashed that one, just right out of his hand. On release.
What did you throw? Did you out here and draw home?
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Disappointing result, and
Right here.
as we've seen time and time again, out of nowhere, there's a big end where Manitoba really didn't have anything go on the entire end. One good hit and roll by Randy Neufeld, and then a bad throw at the wrong time from Francois Roberge. And we're drawing the 8-foot here, Team Manitoba, for 3 and a 3-2 lead after the third end. Not much chance he's going to miss the 8-foot.
Little less yet, Petey. Yeah, right there.
He's taking less and less ice because I guess he wants to run into that one in the 4-foot. I would prefer my skip to just take the draw the button line, and the ice is perfect. It's not very hard to draw the rings. Randy's a top level player here. I mean, not sure why he's worried about that, but regardless, it doesn't matter how, it matters how many. And there's 3 on the board for Manitoba and a great bounce back after a tough start. 3-2 Manitoba heading to the 4th end. We'll be right back.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, folks. We're back for the 4th end action, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. I jokingly said driving from Halifax here felt a little bit like I was driving to the edge of the world, about a 3-hour drive from Halifax. Luckily, it was a beautiful East Coast maritime day, but wonderful East Coast hospitality since the second I got here, and lots of great curling action. So we got a question online here from Quinn Taggart. Brent, now that we are into the playoffs, do you think the teams will be more conservative or risky? That's a good question, an interesting one. I mean, sometimes you'll see teams play a little bit scared. You know, it never works in terms of the difference between playing to win and playing not to lose. You have to play to win. So whatever your strengths are, whatever your strategy is, I don't see it changing in the playoffs. I mean, some teams might, but I don't think you're going to see them around on Saturday because usually that doesn't end well. So a good question, but I think the top teams, the experience out here, I mean, these are the veterans in curling. You know, Randy was talking about changing this, copying golf. Senior sounds like, hey, senior starts at 65. These are men and women in their 50s and 60s. I mean, there might probably some in their 70s as well, but Champions Tour has a better ring to it. They've been around the game a long time, and I'm sure they've learned that you got to play your style, play your game, play within your capabilities, right? So I don't think we'll see much change, but it's certainly a possibility. So great question. Corner guard from Quebec now. Want to answer here after a tough three-ender. Certainly want to come back with a strong end.
Line's good. Got room. Looks like a lot.
Playing the come around. That red one is half in the rings, half out.
Looks like a lot.
Which you're going to see Quebec, no matter what, they're going to hit that one, and they're going to stay right there, and it's 5 rock rule, still can't take it out. If they make the double, great. If not, no big deal. Yeah, if we nose it. If we hit it, he says. Right on the nose, you're not in the rings. So not even concerned about the double here. If you make the nose hit, the double kind of happens. Well, Jean's got this one. Thought he was wide there, but that's picked for sure. That's going sideways. Not good timing for a pick. Unfortunate, terrible part of our game, but it is part of our game. It's like a gust from the gods in golf.
The double's there, okay?
All of a sudden just turns and it's gone. Get absolutely, basically nothing from that shot. At least he chipped the guard, I guess, but frustration. All you can really do to prevent that is make sure you're cleaning the path, clean the rock when you can, but they still happen from time to time.
Line's good.
Bad break for Quebec, good break for Manitoba.
Line's real good.
And put the guard on it, but you heard Randy say, hey,
Tight.
not too long because they could make this double and then they'll be buried, so we might have to run this guard back.
Good throw, PD, that's good. Good shot.
Tu avais-tu l'essayer? Son rec en avant, peut-être rouler là avec un hack.
Thinks he might be able to hit and roll behind the corner guard with hack. If you wreck on the guard, rather, you can roll behind the corner guard. This is one where Eric's a good player. He's going to be close. And unfortunately, the closest miss is the feather tick on the guard, and with hack weight, it's going to slide through the rings. So if you hit the guard, you want to hit the guard hard. Oh, good-looking shot here from Eric.
Too good.
Too good.
Too good sweeping. Good shot.
Too good. Over-curled. Got too tight to the guard. But the most important thing there is get it off the forefoot and open up. You can see how close to the guard he got there. Frankie didn't think he could hit it that thick. But if nothing else, you've opened up some free come-arounds here.
Hard. Really hard.
Peter, of course, going to try and roll this right back to the forefoot. But rolls, again, looks fancy, but it's not a good spot.
Throw his PD.
If Eric can get this one frozen right on this, half buried, half on that red one, it won't be removable. It'll be shot rock. Only one thing better than getting a rock buried and frozen. is even better. Even when the guard gets taken off, it's still tough to remove. Frankie having trouble breathing there for a sec. It's light, saying get it, out count the other one at least. Want to get this one buried and out of the way, and second shot now. Not going to do either. So actually causing problems for himself there, Eric being that light. You're going to see Manitoba go around the center guard now and really apply some pressure here to Quebec. The momentum of the game, how quickly it switches, and certainly has swung in favor of Manitoba in the last 20, 30 minutes. Other games are tight, except for BC is up 4-0. Another steal for BC over Alberta and James Paul. Just making a ton of shots, putting a lot of pressure on James. He couldn't make the angle raise, double angle raise for 2 or 3. It's a big ask, though. So other games are still close. That's the only one that's really getting out of hand. Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia on the men's side, 3-2 Saskatchewan, playing the 4th. So another small mistake. Quebec needs to capitalize on one of these and make a perfect shot, and now's as good a time as any for Max to make this dead freeze. You don't have to freeze on it. Even if it stays a little bit open in your top button, it'll be very difficult to remove. But freezing right to it is the call.
Line's good.
Max also a Grand Slam winner. Getting called in to spare when Scotty Bailey's back seized up in Quebec and play for Wayne Madaw, I believe, if my memory serves. John Epping was on that team. And they won a Grand Slam. This one's over curling. Got to hold the line, boys. Oh, and they've left it, not even shot rock. You can hear some frustration in Francois' voice there, and Max is disappointed. Nobody feels worse there than the sweepers. I'm not sure if they thought it was heavy. Certainly a misjudgment on their
I think so. I mean, if we get in here, it's
part.
not bad, but this one right here.
I'm always nervous throwing these ones in the house.
Yeah, he might. Want to go right here? Okay.
So if you're going to throw it in the house, I don't want to throw it in a spot where they can use it to hit it and or even bump up their yellow. And I think you're either going to freeze or you're going to throw a straight guard. But they're worried about the other side of the sheet that Quebec will be able to chase the back one. With how much this ice curls, probably is accessible over there. So big shot here for Manitoba and Dean Moxham.
Whoa. Whoa, looks like a lot.
We'll see if this one comes down too.
Bounce it.
Oh, this one's heavy. Going to bump him in for shot rock, certainly. Not bad, though. Redmond's in a very dangerous spot, but if you knew you were going to make that, that'd certainly be a valuable shot, wouldn't it? The double off the wing. Didn't understand what he said there. Maybe, hey, do you guys like letting the dice roll here? Because a miss here, and you're going to be in world of trouble. I don't think you have much choice here. Your other option is kind of a follow Dean down and bump that one back. So they know this spot. This is where Frankie threw a double attempt in the second end. So it's not going to curl. Max has got to, can't hear that out of the hand, unfortunately. That's probably missed out of his hand. Yeah, you can't be wide there, unfortunately. Max knows that. It's one where if you hear whoa in a straight spot with that much weight, it's just never going to curl. You got to give that one to your sweepers. Throw it a little tighter than you feel like. At least that's how I feel, especially on the out turn. Generally, it floats a little bit more. Not sure what... Interesting call here. I would have thought he would have played something on the red one that Dean threw in there. The angle's pretty good. Bump, freeze, and really set himself up. Bump, and bump that back red. I mean, you're going to leave yellow shot, but If you could ever line up the reds.
Looks like a lot.
I don't know what he's trying here, folks. I got to pay attention.
I think we're on that yellow one if we throw that. Little less, Petey.
Sounds like he's trying to be very precise. So probably playing the freeze, I guess, on the yellow one.
Normal here. 310.
Talking about the split time. That's how Randy wants to hear draw weight. 310, back line to hog line. Or actually, 310 is probably, I don't know what that is. T-line to hog line, maybe? Can't be back line. That's board weight.
It'll curl.
It needs to. A little bit heavy, but line's getting good. Weight is not, oh, just a dirty feather tick there to perfection. And now Quebec's
Close.
You're going to bounce off.
Yeah, it was close, so just
Yeah,
a little
just
bit much, eh?
a little bit heavy, and then got fortunate.
Outsides are nice and real.
Danger qu'on perde notre jaune.
That's a pretty good spot. We can whack a bunch of stuff now.
A little bit uncomfortable here, actually, where that stopped. He can make a triple here, save his shooter, and have 4 yellows in the rings.
He also can come up tight and take his own out.
That's optimistic, I think.
Yeah. Enough to hit his out.
Randy, it's, yeah, I think that's fairly optimistic. This is a fairly makeable double, at least on the top 2.
It's going tick, tick, boom.
Can only see 3/4. Certainly it's possible, Randy's saying. Maybe trying to talk it into existence.
Yeah, depends where he hits though, but if he hits it where to make that one, he is jamming it in there.
There's certainly a spot here where Quebec can lie first, third, fourth, and fifth shot. Quarter rock. Timeout, eh?
Yeah.
I think he has to take this on.
Didn't look good at all. I know. Did not look good, but if I'm 3 feet, 4 feet less weight, we're okay. That we can sweep it, right? You know what I mean?
So he's wondering if it's going to tick
But I was heavy.
the one top button shot rock.
Yeah, I know.
Split guard. I don't know if I don't like that for sure. There's too many ways to get in there and get shot rock out. I think there's a great opportunity to put some fury into Manitoba, and it's a hard shot, but you hit a quarter rock on Francois' out turn side.
Because that other shot, if he rips that,
He's
he's got to hit that thin.
It is thin, you're right, Randy.
Still gets rid of his, right? But he could get rid of all already.
I'm not sure that it gets rid of his ever. I don't know where it goes if you tick the yellow. It might just come back frozen on the red one, which wouldn't be great for Quebec, leaving the freeze on the button. But I think the key here is if you hit it where you make the double on the left-hand side, really good things are going to happen. If you ever stick your shooter, even if you spin out and those 3 reds go, 3 yellows in the rings and 1 red is a good situation. Big shot, lefty out turn.
Yep.
Sounded tight.
Get ready, Petey.
Oh, Randy might get what he wants here. Just missed that one by a mile, unfortunately. Just missed that one by about 6 inches. See if we see the replay here. It's better actually if he hits the guard.
What? No. He can't get shot.
Unfortunate, and
He
now
makes a double there.
now really difficult for Quebec to even score a point. Yikes. Shooter almost stayed. He's trying to hit a quarter rock, and he almost stayed. So he's missed that by 6 inches. Unfortunate for Francois. He won't feel good about that one.
Is he tapping that then?
And things are kind of coming apart at the seams here for Quebec over the last 2 ends.
I don't mind it, but we can't bounce off, so I don't want to throw that weight. Right. So play for that. Yeah. And if we tap.
I don't see the danger of tapping here. I think you want to be right in there.
Even if you're short.
Yeah, yeah.
I was waiting for that
Like
comment,
that?
and I don't like it. even if you're short, we're here to win a Canadian championship, and these men are certainly capable of doing that. And they're worried about being able to draw somewhere between top 8 and back 8. I don't like the thought of be short.
I don't know. The end, I don't know. Can he hit that one and just flop in? Yeah, maybe. Timeout.
Wow.
Dino's going.
Both teams think this is a key end of the game. A little frustration on the next sheet from James Paul. A little
he's
gentle.
And give us one. He's not
sportsmanlike broom slam.
Right.
I think he gave up another steal, and he's down 5-0 at the break.
Give us 3. He's playing this one here, quiet, and give us 1. So do you want to go right into it?
Why not?
Yeah. Right. That's what we. But
why not is my question too.
Everything worked out perfect.
Right.
So what would we do?
What's wrong with that though?
What about guarding this? Then he tries this double?
Well, then we force him in the yellow one.
Oh, tap. You might,
I don't mind
you might
that.
actually throw the bullet
Might
at it and try and hit it.
Yeah, all 3.
There might actually be a triple there if you leave it. I mean, super tough. Tight by the guard, though.
Shot.
That one might go straight
You like
across.
that?
I think it actually does.
Okay.
Might jam, but
You got
uncomfortable.
the ice there, Petey?
Hate to give up a deuce in this situation just because you were afraid if you that you were afraid you couldn't draw the top 8 foot or top 4 foot. Once this is on the right line, the weight's really irrelevant. Just get it in the rings.
Yeah.
He wants
throwing that last one, Dale.
same weight is perfect, Randy.
Yeah.
I just feel like he's going to throw this one light. A lot of conversation about it, where he can throw this right in there and really put the gears to Quebec.
Lots of room. No, lots of room. Line's good. Line's good. Well, room. Room yet. Room. Curl, Dale. Curl. Curl.
Good looking shot here. A lot of conversation to play exactly that. I think that was the automatic call. And now Quebec's in all sorts of trouble.
Sweet. Good judge, guys.
He's got to play an angle tap to the edge of the 4 foot against a 4 steal.
Love to have tapped it a hair,
Randy's awfully hard on himself. I remember that
We couldn't bounce.
from last game. Always wanting a little bit more. I like it.
Les parfois, on se fait voler 3, là. C'est pas terrible.
Bounce it, yeah. It took a long time to get there, though. Right. Yeah.
So we could have a tie game here, folks.
Back 4 of
Very good.
A lot of times, though, it's going to be 6-1 Manitoba. It's hard to just give up a 1 steal here. It's kind of either you're going to score 1 or they're going to steal 3 or 4.
It's a hard shot.
See if Team Quebec's up to the challenge here.
That's why he'll make it.
Yeah, we're holding him to 1. Get the hammer back with the
Control.
4 ends to go.
Can see them trying to be positive. I can promise you, they know how hard this is, and they know there's a great chance they're going to steal 3 here. It's close.
Oh, he must be close.
A little bit harder than they want. Oh, what a shot there. Just needed to curl a little bit more. Yeah. Oh, man, I curl a quarter inch, and it's perfect. The overhead makes it look like yellow, but as I've said, the overhead is very misleading. So they're going to measure by the looks of it, but either way, what a great effort by Francois Roberge to try and save this game for his team, really. A miss there, and this game was over.
That's a tough shot. That's why I said if we could tap, eh? We had the line there, we could have gone hard.
Wouldn't have changed anything, though, Randy.
The one, that's right, the one that we...
Yeah, the one you would have tapped already scored. Big measurement here.
It's yellow. It's going to break it.
Randy sounds disappointed to have a 3-point lead.
Nice shot. That's a good shot. That's a hard shot.
Yeah, I thought the line was good.
tell me about it. I threw one there in the second end, too.
So it is yellow, and a fantastic game-saving shot there from Francois Robert. Steal a one, 4-1 Manitoba going into the fourth end break. We'll be back in a few minutes.
It's a beautiful blend of strategy, skill, and creativity. Curling. But it's our people that make us great. We're a mosaic of countless experiences. We communicate and collaborate. We value new ideas and different perspectives. We learn from our past and from our future. We may even disagree sometimes, but it's in our differences that we can see our strengths. The beauty of our sport is reflected in our people and our values. Regardless of your ethnicity or gender, your abilities, your stage in life, your beliefs, or who you love. The rocks and the ice don't discriminate. And as curlers, we won't either. We will be the change that we want to see in the world. Curling is a place for everyone.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
It's time to experience the wonder and excitement of Yarmouth and Acadian shores. Stay at one of the many charming accommodations, adventure along the ocean coast, or just be cozy by the fire and enjoy some of the darkest and clearest skies in North America. This December, be a part of the action with the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championship. You'll find all of this and so much more with your special getaway in Yarmouth and Acadian shores.
Welcome back to the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships here, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. We've got championship pool action here. 4 men's games on the docket here in the arena and 1 women's game. The other 3 ladies' games are over at the Curling Club. And I'll give you an update around the rings. We've got a barn burner going here, a game-saving shot as we all saw. But far sheet, we got Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia on the men's side. 3-3 playing the 5th end. With Saskatchewan with the hammer and looking like they've got a multiple score set up and a hit and roll chance here to lie 2 buried. Late in the end, coming into Skip Stones, but hit and lie 2 and not no roll. New Brunswick, Ontario. I cannot see who's winning 4-1, but somebody is. Ontario up 4-1, a deuce and then a steal in the 4th. So New Brunswick going to the 5th with the hammer, down 3, must-win game, more or less.
Pounding it away,
and then we've got BC, Alberta. I think I mentioned 5-0 Alberta after 4 ends. James Paul and the boys from Alberta need this win to keep the momentum going. They are at 5-2. This would keep BC's hopes alive. Certainly a 5th loss would knock them out of the competition, and their last 2 games would be for a good time and not really meaningful to get them into the playoffs. And then Saskatchewan, Team Sherry Anderson, 4-time defending Canadian senior champions, up 3-1 against Ontario. with the fifth end just underway.
Oh, really? Oh, no.
December, we can take holidays. And for 2 years in a row, I'm not there.
The guy's just talking, Randy and Francois, talking about whether or not Francois is playing play down. Says he doesn't have time. Personally, I wish he didn't have time in 2006 when they beat us in the Brier final, but what are you going to do? Frankie played great that game, and we kind of forgot to show up. But it's one of those games where learned a lot. You don't really know what it's like to play in that situation until you get to play in it. I can tell you all about it if you want to hear about it. I'm happy to, but until you get there yourself, it's quite an experience. So with the 3-point, the scoreboard says 4-2, folks, but that's not right. Oh, it is right. My bad. 4-2. It is right. I thought it was 4-1. Another X on my resume, but down 2 with the hammer. Team Quebec wanting to get some offense going here. Need a momentum swing here. Need a big shot or a big sweep to make a key shot. Just need a bit of a kick in the rear end here to get back in this thing. Solid corner guard from Jean Gagnon.
Go here. I'm gonna go here. Just short, it's fine. Tighter in.
The lounge on the ice. There's a bar right on ice level, right behind the sheets. Just like the Pinty's Pub at the Grand Slam of Curling. A great idea. Bars open. Watch the game right at ice level. Hear what the players are saying. If you're in the Yarmouth area, I hope you're not listening if you're in the Yarmouth. I hope you're down here watching this world-class curling in your hometown.
Line's real good, right tight. Yep. Curl, 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 curl.
Manitoba lead.
Keep going,
Dale's
keep
trying
going,
to make a
keep
tight guard here, totally bury this red one. He got awfully close. Good start to the end. So he thinks he can hit and roll under with just back 12. Not worried at all about killing the red stone, knocking it out of the rings. Just want to get the shooter buried here. Shot rock behind that center guard is the key for Jean Gagnon. Another shot where you got to get the weight right. Yep. Overthrowing it, it will never curl enough.
Yep. Oh.
Needs to curl by the sounds of it. Definitely did not overthrow this.
Come on. Okay, good shot.
Pretty good shot. A little bit light, but I personally think that's the way to miss that shot, light, rather than most people miss that heavy. Got one in there that Manitoba's got to deal with, but can't deal with it right now because it's buried, so that's good news. Peter Nichols, the veteran from Manitoba, being asked to throw the freeze. Both sweepers jumping on it right away, so they either misread it or Peter forgot to throw it hard enough.
Yep. Hard line, yep, you gotta go.
Looks close.
Gotta go.
Great read by the sweepers on that one to jump on that one right away. Over curled and really kind of locked that yellow one in there. You can hear the disappointment in Randy's voice. Is not disappointed in the throw or anything, just the result. Over curling.
Soft nose.
Play the run back.
Yep.
Eric Sylvain, second stone for Quebec.
Whoa.
Awfully close. Oh, almost picked his own out. That would have been such a disaster. I think he said something about La Jaune, the yellow. Almost picked the yellow. I'm sure they saw it too. Really wanted to make contact on the top red one, not the back one. Back one was kind of holding the yellow one in there, so now just an open hit here for Peter Nichols to lie 2. But 2 corner guards still in play for Quebec. Certainly a chance to set up a deuce.
Hard. Right up. Whoa.
Looks like he's trying to roll behind the corner. I think they might have overswept this. Oh, no. Good result. No easy double and stay. Might see just a straight come around here. I think that's what I would play. That's tough to draw there.
Essayez de flopper là, puis
That's a
descendre
good
elle.
call. I like that one. That's maybe even my, I like that better than the draw. If it does hang, you can chip and roll in there.
Right.
Back line. Hit and roll under the corner guard.
Reste proche, Johnny. Okay. Reste proche. Yep. Hard. Max. Max.
So didn't get the roll under, but left it in a spot. Shot rock, difficult to remove because of that backing. Has to use this red one, and once you use that, it's quite easy to not save your shooter or the one you're hitting, and that's going to open up the freeze behind the corner guard.
Whoa. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yep.
Trying to hit this really thin to save the red one.
Whoa.
Got to make sure you kill the yellow, but it'd be really nice to save that. Good shot there, Dean Moxham. Really well played game from Manitoba to this point. I guess I shouldn't sound at all surprised when I say that. There's a reason that there's a 7 beside their win column and a 0 beside their loss column, leading the way. Looking to book their spot in the semifinals, and then just a matter of playing the last 2 games for seeding to see where they end up, see who they play.
No.
Quebec still trying hard to get one behind that corner guard.
Change de jeu. Yep. Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Trying to make the double now, the audible. I don't think you want to kill that one behind the corner guard. Just can't make that key shot to set up the deuce lately for Quebec. Very close, good throws, just not getting the results. The old wrong side of the inch idea, but it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy, I think, sometimes. When things start going against you, you expect things to go against you, and typically they continue to go against you.
Curl.
And if that's true, then I got to think the opposite is true as well.
Hard, Petey. Hard. Keep going. Keep going.
Just trying to nose this one, rolling a little wide won't hurt him. But you're going to see a freeze now. And they're due to make one of these. I'm going to say Max is going to make this one, Max. I'm
Just a little strong. Yeah, that's all.
batting below 100 though, Max, so I could really use a win here.
Open more. I know. I agree.
So if he freezes this a little bit on the high side, a little bit on the broom side, about 3/4 high, it's going to be half buried, frozen. Going to be impossible to remove it.
Like a loss.
Can get behind the
Yeah.
corner.
No, it won't go behind the corner because it's heavy.
Max wasn't feeling what I was feeling. This is well heavy, like well overthrown. It's almost through the house. It might be through the house. Yeah, stayed in the rings by the looks of it,
Double,
but
Larry. Think so.
That's just what they took. He must have flopped.
so trying to take away that freeze
He was heavy too.
by throwing one in front of the red one, I think. Top 8 foot. Don't really want to bury this because then they're just going to leave that same freeze. Yeah, just in.
Tuck a bit. Yeah, that's okay.
Don't think
Just
you want
can't
to tuck.
give him the roll.
I don't think you want to tuck any, personally, because once you tuck a piece buried, then the back freeze is just open again.
Correct. You'd rather have him freezing this one. Yeah, I think that should be good. That's ice he had, but he popped it in deep. Look where it curled, right? It curled hard after.
We can afford not to overcurl.
Take a little more, you mean?
I'd like a little more.
Okay. A little more, Petey. A little more. Whoa. Like that good?
Yeah, I like that.
Don't think undercurling hurts you here, unless you're top 8 foot. Then there might be a triple.
the room.
Certainly not any line trouble here. No danger of hitting the guard or anything. So you're going to want to sweep this one past. Yeah, it's well past it. Okay.
Fat. Yeah, I was a little fat. I was just a little fat.
So when he says fat, he doesn't mean he ate too much at dinner. He means he's a little bit wide.
L'option, c'est ce double-là, mais il sera même pas shot.
Faut s'ouvrir la place pour marquer.
Ouais, je vois pas comment on va marquer des 20 Normal.
So a double here. Thinking the back one is in, so still a chance for a deuce, actually. Hit and roll over there. I don't think you want to go across the top. That's going to kill your back one.
Okay, firm. Non. Ben non.
Yeah.
Off nose fort.
Just off nose hard.
Oui.
Yeah. Even if you like stay
Nose
right
fall,
there,
that's
roll a
good.
rock, and then they nose it, you're going to have another double for two. Back-to-back doubles here for a deuce, potentially.
C'est juste en dedans du nez un peu, mais avec du gaz, je devrais rouler quand même pas pire. Hein? Moi-en un peu. OK.
So difficult shot here, but certainly makeable for Frankie.
So we over curl there, and then he freezes to that back one, right? That's horrible. That's why we decided more ice there.
Sounds close. Oh, just missed it. And man, they're just getting nothing going Quebec's way here at the moment. Need to find a way to stay in this game.
Let's make sure here. Normal. Whoa.
Trying to hit and stay in line 3 here. Doesn't want to roll out. Going to leave a double. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The back one's gone from the jam. Probably not going to take on the double for a blank.
Oh, that's straight.
Draw for one here.
Oh, that was just like dead straight.
To be down 4-3.
Okay.
Playing the 6th end, and Manitoba firmly in control of this game, but still opportunity for Quebec. Still time left.
Ça c'est vers la rouge, ça, ce balai-là. Oh, oui.
Got a picture coming in live from somewhere in Quebec, wherever Louis Biron is. Looks like at a curling club. The boys are watching the game at the club, cheering on their home province, Quebec. Maybe they can get a little bit of a change in fortune for them. They'll send the positive vibes. Got to draw the 4-foot here. Jean doesn't look like he loves it. Eric's sticking with it, but it's certainly not going to stop short. Oh, this one's got to stop, and I don't think it's going to. Oh, no. Unfortunate, and I mean, very fortunate if you're a Manitoba fan, but that's a big steal of 2 for Manitoba, and now they've scored 6 points unanswered. 6-2 Manitoba after 5, Quebec having the hammer in 6. We'll be back right after this.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back to the Everest Funeral Concierge Canadian Senior Curling Championships here in Yarmouth, Nova Scotia. A big swing, a big turn of events. Manitoba certainly had the momentum going their way, but now it's heavily in their favor after a 2-steal on a slightly heavy draw from Quebec and skip Frankie Roberge. So Manitoba now up 4 playing the 6th end, and Quebec needs to really make something happen here. Got to make at least a score of 2 points here to give themselves a chance in 7 and 8. So we'll see what happens. They're going to pull out all the stops. They're going to be throwing corner guards, using that 5-rock free guard zone. And Manitoba's going to try and continue to make it hard on them. Update here on the only ladies game here, a big turn of events late in that end of the 5th end. Ontario and Joanne Rizzo had a difficult wide hack weight chase to lie 3, and unfortunately for Ontario fans, she missed it wide, actually chipped it buried, and was forced to draw for 1 on her last one instead of what was a very likely three-point score. So they're down 3-2 without the Hammer playing 6. Front runner Saskatchewan looking good here with the Hammer and 6 up a point. Alberta, BC still playing the 5th end. And James Paul and his fellows from Alberta looking to score their first point of the game, down 5-0. Ontario, New Brunswick's game. On the men's side, Ontario got New Brunswick in some trouble again and up 3. Looks like a difficult situation here for New Brunswick. Maybe could get a deuce, but it's just as likely they're going to give up a steal. And then Saskatchewan, Nova Scotia. Saskatchewan, haven't heard the bell ring in a while, and now I know why. Hometown Heroes Saskatchewan gave up a 3-ender Hometown Heroes Nova Scotia gave up a 3-ender Saskatchewan in the 5th end. So Saskatchewan up 6-3. Nova Scotia with the Hammer and 6 and needing to make something happen to get back in that game. So another corner guard coming. Looks like ice for the nose hit, but there's no way he's hitting anything yet. Don't even think that red guard's in the rings. Small error there from Manitoba lead. Dale didn't want that one in the house. Or sorry, didn't want that one short. But that's where it ended up. Still a usable rock. Jean Gagnon needs this one to stop. And it will. So as much as Manitoba wants to play a clean end here, I don't think they're going to get that opportunity with 2 corner guards and a center guard. They're going to have to keep the Hammer down here. Otherwise, you try and go conservative now, and you're probably going to give up 2 most times and 3 sometimes. So nothing wrong with giving up 2 here for Manitoba, but make Quebec earn it.
Right up. Gotta go.
Bounce it off.
Good sweep, boys. Really good sweep.
Not a bad shot, but another minor miss. Chance to come around the corner guard now. Get second shot at least. The key to that one for Peter was he wanted to get to lie 2 in a place where the come around the corner guard was never going to be second shot. So Eric Sylvan, see if he can spark his team here. Like I said, he's always full of enthusiasm and determination. See if he can make one here for the boys. You can hear Eric doesn't want that one to be swept. Over curling, and it's heavy, so it's going to come out the other side, I think. No, it's not. It's a good shot. So we'll see how Manitoba is going to play this. Are we going to keep the Hammer down, or are you going to start peeling? They're going to peel that corner guard, open up second shot rock. Peter Nichols with the big weight, trying to hit half a rock and roll off. Great shot. Rolls in, kills the guard, stays there, and keeps his buried now. That's super tough, I believe he said, but it would be great if you can get here. I don't think you can, though. Almost impossible. You can see the challenge is that one that's dead buried, shot rock. Eventually they got to get it, but I don't think they need to worry about it yet.
C'est elle qui a de la misère à aller chercher. C'est de venir là, voir, non?
So he's thinking if he draws through there, even if he chaps off the red, he might get in there buried. There is a double on those reds. Eric wants to have a look and talk about it. Quebec doesn't have a lot of time left, but no real danger yet. I think both teams have used one timeout.
Je sais pas comment on va finir par accéder à ça. Ouais, mettons.
Personally, I like just coming around the corner guard. Lie second and third. Don't know what Manitoba do. If they hit the open one, you go around the corner guard again. There is a double on the reds. That's how you're going to get that red one out right now. A half rock on third shot, and it goes across the yellow, across the top. But this is a great shot if you can make it. Just degree of difficulty on this one is high to very high. Has to be perfect line because it actually has to curl past the guard to get by the one top 12. And this one's on the nose. Okay, interesting. It's not what they wanted for sure. I think I might have news here on what curling club that picture was from they sent. Gonna hit. Important to stay here. You want to lie 3. That's why Francois is sweeping that one. Wants to get that out. Keep the blank alive. Not that that's what they're after, but so fourth shot. You're gonna see a similar shot. Hit and roll behind the corner. Yeah. Try and split. Half a rock. Half a rock. Hack weight. Like second and third shot. Could get both of these buried. Maybe this will be the shot that turns things around for Quebec. Max has been close on almost every shot he's thrown. Just that one out-turn peel weight shot he'd like to have back. Not a bad throw, just didn't give it a chance. This one sounds close. There we go, Maxie. Got to get that one out, Frankie. Can't see the back of the rings there. Didn't get out, but I think the yellow is out counting it.
Want normal? Or you want here? Normal? Yep. Yep. Hard. Hard, really hard.
Trying the run back here. Were they able to hold it for Dean? They were. A great shot. Oh, just gets by the one on the forefoot. And I can't see the back of the rings on the overhead, so did that one touch the boards? Here's the replay, boys. I'm going to say no, it did not touch the boards by the looks of it. No, and Peter was right there watching. Hit and roll behind the corner guard. Shot rock buried. They'll be first and third, both buried. Put some pressure on Manitoba.
No, Johnny.
Needs to curl, needs to curl, needs to curl. Got to stick around. Okay, very close. 2 good throws from Max. Going to allow Randy Neufeld here, though, to hit and stay and lie 2 again. Sometimes you need the other team to turn the momentum around for you. You need Randy to overthrow this one out wide, where sometimes it'll run straight and hit about 2/3 of this rock high or half a rock and jam it on the back one.
Stay there to
He has to stay here. He's right. He can roll. He can roll low. You don't want to roll right behind the corner.
Like yours curled a bit out there, eh? I was surprised.
But lying two is super important. They like the weight.
Curl. Easy. Curl. 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 Curl.
That's well done. So two trains of thought here. Do you play the hit and roll? Try and keep that top yellow one alive. Because once you draw, that top yellow one is not going to count. I think this is the shot. It's a little bit harder than the draw, but down 4. If this was a tight game, you'd see him draw here because the draw gets you 2 most of the times. But 2, he's thinking might not be enough when there is a chance for 3.
If he makes the roll, we got to draw, and then like we got to make sure that that one doesn't come into play, right?
Yeah, if he makes the roll here, though, Randy, you're going to just play a draw around that center guard, and you might get a chance to steal.
Take enough out there, yeah.
Be a pretty bad miss to miss the rings or draw to a spot where there's a double. Just saw Randy's. Francois throwing less weight, which I like. Got to be patient in this spot. Sounds like he's missed it, unfortunately, Quebec fans. Yeah, it's just a little straighter out there than the guys are giving it credit for. And now Randy just has to make the exact same shot, and he's got him forced. I guess if he were to nose it, there might be a double, but unlikely. All the way across the rings, might not even be room. Nose hit, roll inside.
Yeah, I think so.
Doesn't want to roll to the edge of the 4-foot. That would definitely leave a double. A difficult one, but a double for 2 that Team Quebec's going to have to take on at this point. A single point here is kind of delaying the inevitable against a team like Manitoba.
Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yep, yep. Hard. Hard. Right up, right up. Yes.
So roll to a spot where there's going to be a double, and you're going to see Frankie take this on.
Well, you can't roll because he's got the double. Like, what the hell?
You got to love the enthusiasm from Randy Neufeld here.
Just the less weight, I was okay with that. I know, me too. I might have thrown it.
You got to take this on, guys, and you can't worry. Just pick the weight that's easiest to make it.
Si à l'overcure, on prendra un. Bumper. L'autre, il faut juste la pousser d'un pied, là. Plus que ça.
Bumper, that's fine. You don't want to throw it so light that you hit it perfect and don't have enough weight. I think bumper is minimum weight. Long way to go. Quarter rock by the looks of it. Roll over and bump that back 12 red one out and hang the 2 points. Same weight he's saying as his last one. Needs to make this one for, that's soft though, that's curling early. I don't know that Johnny's going to be able to hold this one. That's not a good throw from Francois there, not his best stuff today so far. So Quebec going to score the single, however, and maybe prolong this game a little bit. 6-3, Manitoba with the hammer and a 3-point lead heading to 7, very comfortable. We'll be back right after this.
The Curling Cares calendar is back for 2023. 25 curling athletes from 7 different nations are raising money for various charities. Support them by purchasing yours today at curlingcares.com.
Welcome back, curling fans. I'm Brent Lang, live from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia, commentating the championship pool here. First day of the championship pool at the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. Best senior curlers in Canada are here from all of the province and territories, battling it out to represent Canada at the World Senior Curling Championships in Pyeongchang, Korea. in winter of 2023. Pretty cool ticket, pretty cool prize on the table. In our feature game, 6-3 Manitoba. Quebec in dire straits here. Got to get this one over. Need the high guard. Jean's going for it. I love it. And a good shot there. Updates around the rings. Nova Scotia forced to a single and 6, so they are down 6-4 without the hammer versus Randy Bridensrink from Saskatchewan playing the 7th end. Saskatchewan in full control over there. Ontario, New Brunswick. New Brunswick had a draw for 2 and 5 to tie the game, and somehow they missed it. Looks to me 4-2 or 4-3. I can't see the score, but Ontario up with the hammer. Ontario women hanging in there with Saskatchewan force. A great double by Joanne Rizzo on her last to force Saskatchewan to 1 point in 6. So 4-2 Sherry Anderson in Saskatchewan, but Ontario and Joanne Rizzo's team has the hammer in 7, looking to score multiple points. BC, Alberta finally getting on the board of the deuce in 5 and then force in 6. So 6-2 playing 7 for BC. James Paul and his fellows from Alberta with the hammer. So a lot of action here. Manitoba can taste the playoffs now. They are one solid end here away from handshakes and locking up their berth in the semifinals and taking themselves 2 wins away from becoming Team Canada and having the right to put the maple leaf on the back, which is, from a curling standpoint, pretty much the coolest thing you could ever accomplish. It is 4-2 in the Ontario-New Brunswick game. So Ontario up 2 with playing. They're only playing the 6th end, folks. They're a full end plus behind all the other games. Time clock trouble there for sure.
Right to it, straight. Line's real good, straight. Whoa, whoa. Stay with it, Dino.
So Manitoba choosing to defend by asking Dale to make 2 perfect come rounds. And Dale says, no problem, fellas. That's what I'm here for. And basically, looks like he walked him down. I looked away, and they're just absolutely perfect. So, great start for Manitoba. That's going to allow Peter Nichols the opportunity to make some peels. Team Quebec trying to get one in there around the guard here. Got to pull out all those stops. Doesn't matter if they give up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points here. They won't give up 8. They'll throw a hit before then. But even a single point here for Manitoba will be handshakes from Quebec. I'm quite certain of that. Got to curl, got to stop. He wants it to stay second shot, but I'm not sure it's going to. Slides just a little bit too far. And now I think they'll just peel the tight one because the long one is helping them, guarding there too.
Nothing going in. Which way do you like it, though? You
Sure.
want to play this turn across?
Oh, wow. Surely he's going to play the intern. Yeah.
If you hit that one, that's fine.
Not really, I don't think. I think you got to make this open peel. Anything but 7/8. I mean, lots of room here for Peter, a great player here over the years.
Hard! Hard! Really hard. You got to go.
Uh-oh.
Hard!
Oh, gosh. That is unfortunate, but maybe that's the break Quebec needs. And I wasn't a huge fan of the conversation there, and it's not about pointing fingers, but if I'm in the hack and you ask me to play, cross face is much harder. You're telling me you think I might throw this bad enough to jam it. And just that thought in Peter's head is not really what you want. I mean, it's still up to Peter, don't get me wrong, to make that shot. It's a very easy shot. But he hit it the only place he couldn't hit it. Quebec 2 buried and shooting. Stay tuned, folks. Maybe we do have a finish on our hands. Got to get it past that one. Don't want to leave this in a spot you can make the doubles. Over curled. Right on the button, which is fancy, but not really where they wanted. I think there's a big hole. You could drive a truck through that one and make that double on the back too. Just whistle it through the. No, I don't think so.
How?
What? Looks like intern.
Same weight.
Certainly the right call here. I mean, you want to peel the guards, but they do have 3 in the around the 4-foot, and you can hit one of them. Chance to nose this, make the double, stay shot rock. Did he overcorrect it here, folks? Oh, and he almost made the triple. So not exactly what they wanted, but that's much, much better. But still for Quebec, if you can make Randy throw full 8.
That stinking peel. That's why I wanted to play the other side, because then you hit either one.
You're in charge.
Because that one, you just off a little bit and you do that. We were just 2 perfect shots, right?
It's over now?
Yeah.
So now we move on, right?
I love the calmness
You can see better from this end.
of Dean Moxham there. He's certainly Randy's go-to guy.
We're just offering the long guard was the least.
I know that.
Right.
I agree.
Good ball.
But at least if you
But
get
there
one of
wasn't
them.
from the other end. It doesn't look too pretty from the other turn.
Yeah, I agree with everything Dean's saying there.
Right, I know what you mean.
And either one then.
Oh,
I
il
didn't
vient de
care.
piquer. Yes. Yes, Eric.
So great conversation there. That's teamwork at its finest. Max struggling with draw weight tonight. He's been heavy a lot. Certainly a double available by the looks of it. It's going to jam. Not going to make the triple, but some Sasky fans in the house. I see the famous green, white, and yellow. Maybe even some face paint. Gotta love that. Those are some committed curling fans. I'm going to guess that might be family of Team Sasky. Loving what they're seeing right now from the fellas.
Whoa! 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 Curl! Curl! Whoa! Whoa! No! No! Ah, perfect.
What a great shot. I think they were playing the double there, but a great audible. So Dean's coming down, talking his skipper down, making sure he's focused where his focus needs to be on the current shot, not one that they regret, and then making the perfect hit and roll to get shot rock frozen. That's the kind of guy I want on my team. Not just the making the shots, but just his demeanor.
Yes, Johnny. Yes, Johnny. Ça presse.
This one's way inside from Max.
Hard.
I don't know what he did here, but it doesn't look good.
Hard. Roule dedans. Roule dedans, roule dedans. Go, go, go.
Ooh,
go,
Maxie.
Go, go. Okay.
That one was tight right away. So, if I'm Manitoba, yeah, I definitely don't move that red one because I don't want to throw anything against more than 2 yellow rocks.
You think? I don't know, Dean.
I really don't
Yeah.
think you want to move those.
Well.
I'd rather see you freeze the back one, nose the back one with back line, lie second and third.
I mean, I don't mind that.
I don't think you want to take on that double. I think you want to lie third shot here. Eliminate those other 2 yellows for sure. Your shot frozen, no danger. You hit that red one, and all of a sudden there, you might leave a double for them to lie 3 again. Yeah, I like
I
that.
don't mind this.
I don't love that one. You got to roll in for third shot. If you don't, you're going to see Quebec just bump that red one, maybe on the angle, save the other one, and again, there's a chance you're going to have to throw against 3. The scoreboard tells you that's the last thing you want to do.
Whoa! Curl! Curl! Curl!
I'm sure Dean will make this perfect. Just like that. Not perfect.
Okay.
Great shot, as good as he could have done.
Should have gone further.
Backline, mettons. Demi-roche backline.
Yeah, even if he just knows it, kills the back one.
On battra jamais elle. Faut la pousser. Si je veux rouler là, faut que j'aille un peu de gaz.
That red one did not end up in a great spot. It's acting like a guard. I don't like that call.
I didn't like the guard because I want 3 or 4 yellows in there. We're up 3 now.
Well, you can't guard. No, for sure, Randy. You're right there. So Frankie throwing the lefty out turn. Back line was the last I heard.
Play this. That's why I figured we got to get rid of the yellow
I don't know if he's playing the hit and roll or trying to stay on it. I think probably better shot here is to roll off it, a roll buried, shot rock behind 2 guards really. And your first and third. And you're forcing Randy to make a tough shot. Trying to get this one to curl. Every time they get a good opportunity, Quebec just can't quite come up with the goods, and that's lined up pretty badly. I don't know what he said, but basically he's saying we're dead.
I'd like to, but I mean, nose. Right, but
I think he's saying fire up the jet. Let's get out of here.
right. I'm thinking firm. I'm thinking firm. You like that, or you want to?
Just has to hit. If he hit and stays anywhere here, it's both yellows are gone. Nose hit, a little bit low, dead on the nose.
Okay, wait, inch less even or not? That's good. Okay.
Perfect situation. He would roll to the top of the button. Just like that. So Francois is going to have to play the draw around that hit and roll that Dean made as asked, but ended up in a bad spot. So if he makes a great shot here, you know, they're probably going to see Randy take on an in off his own or something. If that's possible, really try and end the game. A 1 steal here doesn't scare him. Or just draw for 1, follow him down. Big news on sheet E here, Ontario, Saskatchewan, the lone ladies game here in the arena tonight. And finally somebody pushing Team Anderson, the 4-time reigning champs, pushing them to the brink here. Ontario lying 3. And only 1 shot to come here from Sherry Anderson. And she's playing a double that would leave at the very, very worst for Ontario, draw to the rings for 2. So big shot here in a big game for both teams. Come around here from Frankie. The line looks real good. And of course, just gonna wreck and just not Quebec's day today. Here comes the shot from Sherry Anderson. Close as always. Makes the double, no problem. And a draw for 2 though, to be tied coming home. Anderson will have the hammer in Team Saskatchewan if Joanne can hit the 12-foot here. So in the feature game, this is a shot for handshakes, no question. Contact here and the game's over. Game's already over. They're already shot rock, so I'm quite certain Quebec is about to peel the gloves, and both teams will head to the lounge for a social beer here. Extremely well played game. Can't take anything away from Manitoba. Thought Dean Moxon played extremely well as Dale Mickey we're going with. Great game for Manitoba. Big win and booking themselves a ticket into the playoffs. 2 wins away on Saturday from becoming Team Canada. So great stuff there. And Quebec falling back to 4-4 and need to win their next 2 absolutely for sure to have any chance. So I'm Brent Lang signing off for the night. We'll see you tomorrow for some more live action here from Yarmouth, Nova Scotia in the Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. Thanks, folks.